Hi everyone, it's Brittany, your favorite plant-loving internet stranger, and today we're going to be talking about the Hoya Publicalyx. The Hoya Publicalyx is native to the Philippines and is a vining plant that can be trained to climb. One of its distinguishing characteristics is its silver-specked, waxy leaves. The Hoya Publicalyx is a relatively low-maintenance plant. It should be watered once a week in the spring and summer season, or when the top 2 inches of the soil is dry. It usually requires less water in the cooler months, with watering taking place every few weeks. It's best to let the water drain completely to avoid root rot. This plant does best with bright indirect sunlight. Filtered light is best, as direct sunlight could burn its leaves. Because this plant is native to the Philippines, where the humidity is very high and it rains quite a lot, this plant would do fine in an environment with higher humidity or in a home with average humidity. Be sure to keep your Hoya Publicalyx away from the drafty window during the cooler months. If you live in a drier climate, you may need to create humidity for this plant. If you live in a humid environment, you could keep this plant outdoors, but just make sure you keep it in a shady environment and out of direct sunlight. The Hoya Publicalyx is a great choice if you have small children or pets, as it is not toxic. This is a very easy plant to propagate. Just cut it right below a node and stick it in some water and wait a couple of weeks and roots should develop. You can also propagate by sticking your clipping directly in soil and making sure to water it regularly. So I do have one Hoya Publicalyx. This plant lives in a hanging basket in a northern facing window, and I don't pay much attention to it. It's one of those set it and forget it type plants. It's very, very low maintenance. I water it about once a week year round just because it can be a bit dry in my house, and it's got really beautiful leaves. It's got those classic Hoya waxy leaves. It's easy to propagate. I have propagated other Hoyas. I don't think I've ever propagated this Hoya in particular, but I may do that at some point soon. One thing I really love about this plant is that, like, as you can see, it does have some hang time down here, which is great, but it really wants to climb. It's like a natural climber. So I didn't do anything to make this part right here stand up on its own. You know, like, that is just growing upwards. And so I think it would do really well if I put it on the trellis. I may at some point, just because the leaves are starting to get so dense. I'm starting to notice that some of the leaves at the bottom are starting to not look the best, because they really don't get any exposure to the light because they're so covered by the other leaves that are on top. So I may at some point put this on the trellis and start to train it to climb. So if I do that, I will definitely make a video about it, but I really, really recommend this Hoya Publicalyx. It's a very easy plant. It's a great beginner plant. It's easy to propagate, and it's just beautiful. It's one of those very attractive, low maintenance plants that looks great hanging in a hanging basket if you don't have a ton of floor space, or if you do have floor space, or whatever space to put this plant on, and you want to train it to climb and put it on a trellis, it would also look great. Just a very beautiful plant, and it's one of my favorites. And that was the Hoya Publicalyx. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely check the Hoya Publicalyx out if you're looking to start or grow your Hoya collection, and leave me a comment letting me know if you have any experience with the Hoya Publicalyx. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.